The movie theater. The theater goes all the way back to ancient Greece. Of course, the ancient Greeks were watching live performances in 680, which was long before Thomas Edison and the Lumiere brothers invented their film cameras. Edison and the Lumiere brothers shared their inventions with the world in the late 1800s, capturing the globe's attention and the spectacle. As soon as the first movie theater opened in a small Pennsylvania town in 1905, the movie theater industry immediately became known as a staple of American culture. Americans from all walks of life have enjoyed the movie theater for well over 100 years now. But the movie theater may be on the path to extinction. Even before the clusters of bizarre pneumonia outbreaks were reported in Wuhan, China on the New Year's Eve of 2019, movie theaters were being threatened. Streaming services and online viewing of films were becoming more competitive with theaters. Up until 2018, Netflix original movies were considered to be of a lower caliber compared to films released in theaters. But Netflix's ownership and distribution of the 2018 Alfonso Cuarón movie Roma was a game changer for the streaming service industry as a whole. Not only was the movie a huge critical and financial success, but was one of the first foreign language films nominated for Best Picture in the Academy Awards. This was a huge step for Netflix. In the following year of 2019, Netflix purchased both Noah Baumbach's Marriage Story and Martin Scorsese's The Irishman. When the decision was made to shut down movie theaters in early March in an attempt to enforce social distancing and slow the spread of coronavirus, no one knew how long it would be until theaters would open their doors again. But production companies did not hesitate to adapt to home streaming for their upcoming releases. Disney released the Pixar film Onward in early March to theaters. But when theaters closed merely a week after its release, Disney made the huge decision to transition Onward straight onto Disney+. AMC, the largest theater chain in America, has been hit the hardest by the shutdown, nearly going bankrupt before striking a deal to reduce their debts in order to stay afloat. And the cards do not seem to be in AMC's favor. Soon after cinemas were shut down, Universal Pictures announced that they would be digitally releasing their upcoming children's animation film, Trolls World Tour. AMC told Universal that if they went through with digitally releasing Trolls, AMC would no longer be offering Universal-produced films in their theaters once the shutdown is lifted. But Universal was firm in their decision to digitally release Trolls, raking in well over $100 million in profit. This was a huge success for Universal, who went on to digitally release Judd Apatow's The King of Staten Island in the same fashion. As a response to the influx of digital releases, the Academy Awards have made the monumental and controversial decision to allow for films to be eligible for nominations without being screened in Los Angeles County for 2 weeks. And while this is being presented as a one-time decision, it's still a huge blow for every theater in the nation. This brings us to the question, will the theater survive? Once cinemas are allowed to open their doors, however far into the future that is, will the same crowds come running? Or will the convenience and lower pricing of couch streaming mean that movie theaters' once loyal customers will stay home? More and more production companies are joining the streaming service industry. They are mainly being used to promote their archive content and original television series. But how soon until they add their theatrical releases to the roster? While some studios may see digital releases as only a temporary fix, it may not be off the table as a permanent transition. With the popularity and momentum of digital streaming, it's possible that the coronavirus only sped up the last nail in the coffin of the movie theater industry. Only time will tell whether or not movie theaters will make a return after the pandemic. But for now, their futures are up in the air.